All right, hey y'all, back with another video. Yesterday we did multi-step equations with variables on one side. Today we're doing multi-step equations with variables on both sides. And someone told me that my videos are boring, so I'm gonna try to make this one fun. So y'all gonna be really annoyed. All right, so before we get started, you have a sheet like this, right? Yesterday we filled out the flow chart. You should have that already filled out, right? And you should have it present because you are going to use it to help you. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple of problems on here and then you're on your own. Okay, so I'm trying to make this video quick. So let's start with question number 1. So I'm gonna have this sheet, but I also need an extra sheet of paper so I can show my work because it's not gonna be enough room, especially when we get to these bottom problems that are a little bit more complicated, but they're fun. All right, so I'm gonna start with problem number 1. So problem number 1 is 6r plus 7 equals 13 plus 7r. So I'm gonna write that problem down. 6r plus 7 equals 13 plus 7r. You should be writing it on a separate sheet of paper too to show your work. So I'm gonna use my handy dandy flow chart. So let's start. Let's go through the steps. My first step, eliminate parentheses. Do I have parentheses? No. Move on. My next step, combine like terms. So I look to my left side of the equation and right side. On my left side of the equation is 6r plus 7. No like terms. I'm good. My right side, 13 plus 7r. No like terms. I'm good. My next step is to move the variables to one side. So I have a choice. I can move 6 or I can move 7. I like to move the smallest variable. So 6 is smaller than 7. So I'm going to move 6r. How do I move 6r? There's an invisible positive. If there's no sign in front of the 6, you can assume it's a positive, a plus sign. So to get rid of it, you do the opposite. Subtract 6r on both sides. Cool? That cancels. I'm left with 7 equals 13 plus r. All right, my next step. I moved all the variables to one side. I would go to my next step. Eliminate the constant on the side of the variable. So I look to the side of the variable. I have 13 plus r, right? So I'm trying to get this 13 away. So how do I eliminate this constant? I draw my river. To get rid of 13, there's an invisible positive, right? Remember, if there's nothing in front of it, you can assume it's a positive. So to get rid of something that's positive, you subtract. You are always going to eliminate the constant first. That cancels. 7 minus 13 is negative 6 equals, and that RIP, right? Rest in peace. I'm left with r. So r equals negative 6. Eliminate the coefficient. There is no coefficient on r. Well, there is. It's a 1. And we know if we divide by 1, we get the same thing, negative 6. So we're good. And last, check your solution. Make sure you check that. All right. So here's my check. I'm going to plug in. So I said r is negative 6. So I got to do 6r. So in r, I'm going to put negative 6 plus 7 equals 13 plus 7r. So instead of r, I'm going to write negative 6. I'm checking. I'm plugging in negative 6 wherever I had the r. 6 times negative 6 is negative 36 plus 7 equals 13. Plus 7 times negative 6 is negative 42. Negative 36 plus 7 is negative 29 equals 13 minus 42 is negative 29 as well. Use your calculator to check your answers. Miss A is really, really smart. Like, I can't even believe how smart I am sometimes. So I already know the answer. All right. And, yep, you should have got negative 6 as your answer. So we did number 1 together, so you already have number 1 complete. Now let's do a little bit more complicated one. Let's look at number 10. All right, I'm going to do 3 of these with y'all, and y'all got the rest. So let's do number 12. Let's look at number 12. So number 12 says negative 6n minus 20 equals negative 2n plus 4, and in parentheses 1 minus 3n. Ooh, that's ugly, but we're going to make it look pretty, all right? So I'm doing number 12 here. I'm going to write it. So 12 says negative 6n minus 20 equals negative 2n plus 4, parentheses 1 minus 3n. All right, back to my flow chart. My handy dandy flow chart is going to save my life, all right? First step, eliminate parentheses. Okay, I'm going to look. Do I have parentheses? No. Yes, parentheses. I got to get rid of that. So I have to distribute this 4 to everything inside the parentheses. So I'm going to write out the rest of my equation. So, and then now I have to distribute. So plus 4, positive 4 times positive 1 is just a 4. And then positive 4 times negative 3n is negative 12n. So I'm not going to say plus negative 12n. I'm going to just put minus 12n. Y'all got that? Next step, combine like terms. Combine like terms. All right. So I'm going to look to my left side of the equation. Negative 6n minus 20. Any like terms? Nope. On my right side, negative 2n plus 4 minus 12n. Any like terms? Yeah, I have two n's. So I'm going to square those. And I'm going to square this. And I'm going to combine them. So on my left side, I got to bring it down, right? Negative 6n minus 20 equals negative 2n minus 12. All right, it looks like a negative 12, but negative can double as minus and negative. All right, keep that in mind. It could double as negative and minus. So negative 2n, skip this 4, minus 12n is negative 14n. Put it in your calculator. No, it's not positive 10. No, it's not negative 10. It is negative 2n minus 12n. Put it in your calculator. Negative 14n plus 4. Cool. Next step, move the variables to one side. We got to move all the variables to one side. So remember, I like to move the smallest variable. So between negative 6 and negative 14, negative 14 is smaller, right? So to get rid of this negative 14, you do the opposite. You're going to add 14n to both sides. Remember, you got to put it under what you're adding to. I'm not going to put plus 14n under that 20. Cancels. Negative 6n plus 14n is 8n. Positive 8n, negative 6 plus 14. Bring down your minus 20 equals 4. Cool. Draw my river. Oh, sorry. Now, my next step. Eliminate. It's a two-step equation. If you know how to go from here, you're good. If not, use your flowchart. Eliminate the constant on both sides of the variable. Draw my river. The constant on the side of the variable is negative 20. A constant is a number that doesn't have any variable attached to it. It's just a standalone number. Is that negative 20? Get rid of it. You add 20. RIP. 8n equals 24. Now I eliminate the coefficient. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable. The number in front of the variable is 8. To get rid of a number that's in front of a variable, you're always going to divide. Divide. That cancels. N equals 3. All right. You plug back in to check your work to make this video shorter. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do one more with y'all and then we're going to call it quits. All right. So we did 1. We did 12. So let me do 18. There's 2 parentheses in that one. So that was kind of fun. 18. So 3. So I'm doing 18. 3. I'm going to write it up here. 3, 1 minus 3x equals 2, negative 4x plus 7. Cool? All right. So using my handy dandy flow chart, it's going to help me. I eliminate parentheses first. I have parentheses on both sides, so I got to distribute on both sides. So here and here and here and here. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9x equals 2 times negative 4 is negative 8x. And 7 times 2 is 14. Cool. Combine like terms. Next step. Left side, no like terms. Right side, no like terms. My next step is to move the variables to one side. You see how I'm referring to this flow chart? Y'all should do that. All right. So move my variables to one side. I'm always going to move the smaller one. Negative 9 is smaller than negative 8. So I'm going to move it. Add 9x to both sides. This cancels. I'm left with 3 equals negative 8x plus 9x is just 1x. So you could put 1x or you could just put x. If you just put x, you're good. Plus 14. Now I have to eliminate the constant on the side of the variable. So draw my river. This is the constant on the side of the variable. It's a number that stands alone that's on the side with the variable. Subtract 14. Subtract 14. RIP. 3 minus 14. Negative 11 equals x. Plug back in to check your answer. All right. That's all I'm going to do with y'all. Next ones are on your own. How do I turn